cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real, you just gotta listen.
What up, everybody, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast. This is For Women Wednesday. I'm your host, Freddie G, joined by my co-host, K Money, Slash, and Comedian 96. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast. On Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. And for all my YouTubers, don't forget to like and subscribe. And welcome to another Women Wednesday. Okay, fellas. So I saw something on IG where in regards to Neo, the singer Neo.
Oh yeah.
And where his I guess his baby mama was recording him and calling him all kind of names, saying that he was a deadbeat dad.
Diddy Jr.
Yeah, she said Diddy Jr. But she was talking real greasy to him, man, like somebody he's on drugs and alcohol and having hookers at the house.
Just totally throwing him under the bus.
Anything bad she could say about him, she said it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and she was, talking just real reckless, man. Mm-hmm. Like real. She even went to the point of saying, "Shut up before I slap your ass." Mm-hmm. But then he threatened to call the police on her. Mm-hmm. And then she basically, that's what you're gonna do, call the police on me, snitch, cop, or something to that effect. But just talking real greasy to him. Now, when I saw that, it kind of tripped me out. Because let's say he's all of the above when it comes to being a bad parent. Just a bad parent. Mm-hmm. Number one, he probably won't have primary custody of the child. Number two, he's probably paying child support because of the money that he makes. And so she's going to be receiving good money to take care of the child. Mm-hmm. It's just that he's not good at parenting, and he doesn't watch the child and do what he needs to do, or spending time with the child as a father, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
What I didn't like is how greasy she was talking to him in his house.
Right.
And how she made threatening remarks to him in his house. Mm-hmm. Right? So that got me to thinking, right? Because I said to myself, okay, moving forward, if Neo goes on and move forward and he meets somebody else, he's probably going to be a little scarred from his previous relationship.
Oh yeah.
And he probably be a little bitter.
Yeah.
Going into his previous relationship.
Facts.
Now, a lot of men are always blaming women who look at them as like the next guy. And we're all, us as men, and I'm guilty of it. I will say that at times I could say something, well, this woman, she's scarred, and so now she may try to look at all men in this way because the previous man did her bad. And so, which got me to thinking, that there are some bitter men out here. There's some bitter men. And a lot of men are bitter, and they don't even know that they're bitter. Mm-hmm. So what I did is I did a little research to find out and to look at some of the signs of a bitter man. And what I found had me like, wow, I know some people or some dudes like this. Mm-hmm. I know some dudes like this. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know the extent of all of their relationships,
right?
But I know their how they are outside of a male-female relationship. So what I found was this checklist of signs of a bitter man, and it shows how a bitter man would be in a relationship with his woman but also how it kind of affects him in other areas of his life. So, with that being said, fellas, number one, a bitter man is guarded. Now, in a relationship, he refused to open up and trust his woman. Now, in other areas of his life, he refuses to open up and trust his friend. What do y'all think about that?
I think most men, that actually describes most men.
Right.
Early in any relationship, I would think, I can't see them opening up right away. Now, say we 2 years in and you still have that, you're still acting as such and not opening up, then, okay, I can see myself being put in that category. But as far as, like I say, generically, I think that just every goddamn man, period.
Yeah, I totally agree with K Money on that. And I say that because women seem to get attached faster. They open up faster, than most men. So yeah, we fit in that category. So I do agree with it may take me a while before I really, because I gotta really trust you. You know what I mean? And I'm not so easy to trust anybody just because I know you. That's
right.
So like K Money said, I think all men kind of have that trait.
Right. And yeah, I think all men. I mean, especially the older you get, the more things you might have been through and seen with dealing with women. So you're more and more guarded because you hadn't seen this with this person. You're like, man, she did this? God, I've never seen that. So every time you date somebody else, another person may do something different. And now you're guarded on that. So as you date and date and date, you're guarded, really guarded, because now you're guarded for everything that you could possibly think could happen.
So K-Money, I heard you use a time frame, and you said 2 years.
Yeah.
Do you think that men are naturally? So, do you think that when men are guarded in a relationship, do you think that they're conscious of it, or is it just a natural way that you just take personality wise or trait wise, male trait wise, that he's not intentionally trying to keep me at bay and not knowing about him. So intentionally, he's not trying to keep himself a secret from me. It's just that the male trait, he's just
won't
it
allow
takes
it.
him a while to
It
warm
won't
up.
allow it. The male trait just won't allow it. You know what I mean? Because when you think about a man, and I think most men, if you thinking about a woman that you're dating, you probably serious about her. And the reason why you guard yourself is because you want to know that this is why you serious about the right person. So it's more or less taking that time that that you need in order to have that trust issue resolved. Because in the beginning, it is, because for one, it take me a while to open up anyway. So a lot I'm not gonna know, but I'm not doing it intentionally.
Okay,
It's
so you are unconscious to it when you say you're not doing it intentionally.
I just think it's a male trait that won't allow you to fall so fast and give and not guard yourself to be on the other end of that situation, the hurt side. You know what I mean?
I do. Comedian 96, you want to speak to that?
Yeah, I think a person can do it so much. They could do it at first. It can be intentionally, but they do it so much that it can become a habit. And they not realize they're doing it.
Now, what do y'all say to the second part of it, where it says, in other areas of that man's life, that man who's guarded toward his wife, or not wife, but toward his female or whatever, in other areas of his life, he refused to open up. And so what it mean by other areas of his life, like with his friends or certain or family members, he's not only like that with his lady, but he's like that with his friends. But he don't have a reason to be that way with his friends.
Do you have to open up to your friends? was gonna be my question. In actuality, the friends level that you are on as male friends is probably just, hey man, what's going on? You know, if we doing something, we drinking, we smoking, that's it. But it's no reason for me to guard nothing or feel some type of way to hide anything from my partner, because this is what it is with us.
Yeah.
We
So
drinking, we
is it
smoking.
saying in every aspect of his life he's pretty much guarded, or he's
Yeah,
just not?
yeah. So what it's saying is it gives a relationship, which we've discussed, and then it says other areas of his life. So in other areas
he
of his
just
life,
shutting himself
meaning
off.
he's guarded just in other areas of his life. So that means that, and then it gives a little smaller definition saying that he refuses to open up and trust his friends.
So it's like he's shutting himself off from the world.
Kinda.
Pretty much you are if you're doing that.
So
Yeah, if you're doing all that, yeah.
But he's just guarded. He don't mind being around people.
okay.
Because he got a girlfriend and he has friends. It's just that he just don't open up. Like his girl could be vulnerable with him, but he probably can't be vulnerable with her. His girl may, say, I love you, babe, but deep down he loves her, but he just can't bring himself to say,
Okay, yeah, that
I
could
love
be-
you.
I feel that's definitely like a male trait, more or less a trait.
Okay.
Because a lot of guys won't express themselves and show that vulnerable side.
Okay. So moving on to the next one. It says a bitter man nags about his ex. Then it says relationship. Each time he is reminded of his ex, he will talk about things she did wrong in the relationship. That's the sign of a bitter man.
I can see that.
I agree. I used to do that. I will not lie. I used to do that long ago. I did.
Man, thank you for being honest.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't lying about it. Man, our dicks used to do that, man. Ain't got time for that. I don't even do that no more.
Okay. Now it says in other areas of his life, he didn't give an example. It just says NA, not applicable. So on to the next one. A bitter man never values a woman's impact. Then it says relationships. He doubts that any responsible woman can have a good impact in his life. He simply believes that there are no good women in the world. Now, in other areas of his life, he has negative things to say about men in relationships. So, again, a bitter man never values a woman's impact. So, in a relationship, he doubts that any responsible woman can have a good impact on his life, and he simply believes that there are no good women in the world. That's relationship wise. Yeah. So if he's in a relationship, he doesn't believe that a woman can impact him in such a way that it'll be a good thing for him.
I hope no man out there steeping like that.
He tripping.
Yeah, he tripping. I hope
He
nobody
not giving himself a shot.
Yeah.
He should be exactly whatever he is.
right?
Okay, so give me a good example of how a woman can make a good impact on a man's life.
She needs to be listen to a man, and I'm not saying take orders. I'm just saying,
Right.
listen sometimes like we listen.
Right.
That's all it really take for us.
If a woman is listening, how does that impact the man?
Because now you're not self-consciously wondering if it's something that she's going to approve of, or if she have any ideas that can even help your situation.
Okay.
I think she could motivate, help motivate them and build them up,
Right.
which is how she can help. What was the question again?
Yeah, just basically, my question was, how can a woman have a good impact on a man's life? So give me an example of motivating. Give me an example of a woman motivating a man.
He could have a bad day at work and come home and complain about the day that he had, and she can, be like, it's all right, honey, just put that behind you type of, give him a little speech to pump him up and keep just giving him the courage to want to go back tomorrow and to that same job that pissed him off, like just on those lines.
I got a good example. I'm not great at writing, and at one time point, I was dating a girl, and I was up for reviews, and I was just going in for a raise, but she wrote my review. She wasn't my wife, but at the time she was the lady I was dating, and not only got a raise, I got a promotion. So whatever she did, so that stuff, being a helpmate, that's stuff that women be thinking, and they can help you in ways like that.
Massage your head won't hurt either.
So the second part of that is saying other areas of his life. So that same man who has he never values a woman's impact. That same man in other areas of his life, he has negative things to say about men who are in relationships. So like an example, there's a homeboy or somebody out there. K-Money, you shaking your head. What?
Yeah, I think I've seen this type of individual. Like you say, you'll see one of your friends possibly say with his gal, and you'll hear a nigga say, man, he always with his gal, or some shit like that on those lines. And I can see a bitter nigga, constantly saying some shit about everything that they doing.
Yeah, that's
or everything that he doing.
Yeah, he bitter. That nigga bitter. You hate him. That's the coldest one there, man.
So now, K-Money, when you say that, when you gave that example, can you also see that guy doesn't see women having a good impact in a man's life?
Yeah, because at that time he's scorned. Okay. So you can't say nothing good about a female to him at that point in time.
Okay, so moving on to the next one. A bitter man is stingy. Now, for relationships, he refused to spend money on a woman. He would do whatever is necessary to avoid spending money on her.
That's bad. That's bad.
Yeah, I think that's a sign of a bitter man.
I don't know. I mean, nigga,
that's a sign of a cheat man.
Yeah, I don't think that means he's bitter.
Yeah, I think he's just cheap.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he just don't have it.
Yeah, maybe he don't want to spend it on her. If you say it like that,
but that's what he's
on
saying.
That particular girl.
But he refused to spend money on
her.
Yeah, on his woman.
But is there a reason why he's Is there a reason why he's refusing? I think. And I'm not trying to make an excuse for it, but I'm just saying, what is his reason for refusal?
Right. So look at it this way. Say he in a relationship with the girl, he see things happening. Right? He probably see her going to lunch with other dudes. But he want to salvage the relationship. But at the same time, he like, man, I'm not going to be spending all my money on her if she out here with another dude. So you'll hold back some, but even though in your heart you really want to make that relationship work, but at the same time, it's like, I ain't finna be no fool either. I ain't finna spend all my money.
So that relationship you talking about it's an exclusive relationship, but you see her going out to lunch and all this shit with other dudes.
No. I'm not saying. I'm just giving a scenario.
No, I'm asking. If it's exclusive, I understand. If not, then
no, it's not
exclusive.
So just use the guy from BMF, right? Use that. He trying to make his wife work, but she going out to go see the doctor and all that. Use him. Something like that. He's trying to salvage the relationship.
What's BMF?
Well, I'm saying Black Mafia Family. The show with 50 Cent.
Shout out.
Shout out to BMF with 50 Cent. Yeah, so he's trying to salvage. If y'all haven't been watching, so he's trying to salvage, but she's going out. She's dating a doctor, right? The guy, he was a longtime friend, but he's a doctor now. So she's dating him, but he's trying to salvage the husband. So if he's in a situation like that, he's probably going to say, I'm going to set some of this money back. I'm not going to give my all if I know she out here, being a little dot. But I'm trying to make my family work at the same time.
I get it. Now, the example you gave was a husband and wife, not a husband and wife with 3 children. And he has a house.
Right.
There's a lot involved in
that. There's a lot involved. Yeah, but I was just trying to give some examples.
She's not really
even if it was a boyfriend and girlfriend.
She's lusting after the doctor.
Yeah. But I think it's done though. But if I ain't gonna go. I ain't gonna spoiler alert.
So the second part to that, a bitter man is stingy. In other areas of his life, he makes excuses for not spending his money and would rather mooch off others. If he do spend his money, it is for himself.
That's the same nigga as
Self?
before.
Yeah, ain't like, yeah, same guy.
Okay. So, moving on. A bitter man is hard to please. In a relationship, he constantly wants a woman to prove herself to him. He expects her to behave like other women. When a certain woman tries to show her sincerity, it is ignored. He makes her work harder to please him.
That doesn't sound.
He sound depressed.
No, he sounds.
Keep in mind, these are signs of a
Right.
bitter,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
man.
Bitter
Right,
man.
but at this point, he sounds like he is not bitter. He sounds like he's controlling. That part you just read, it sounds as if he is. That don't sound bitter to me. That sound like he
Read
controlling.
it again, please.
Okay, so a bitter man is hard to please. Now, the relationship side of it. He constantly wants his woman to prove herself to him. He expects her to behave like other women. When a certain woman, meaning his woman, tries to show her sincerity, it is ignored. He makes her work harder to please him. So an example of that, if he comes and he wants something to eat, so she cooks, and her food is all right, but this don't taste like we had at Miss Smith's house. That's comparing her cooking to Miss Smith's cooking, right? And so she is saying, well, baby, I did the best I could. Or next day she comes, she cooking or whatever the case may be, and how you like it? How you like the food? And every day she's cooking, how you like the food? Oh, it's all right. It's all right. So, but he's constantly ignoring her sincerity. She's really trying here.
Right.
So it's all right. And so it's actually making her work harder to please him.
Right.
So they're saying that a bitter man is hard to please in a relationship. Now, in other areas of his life, a bitter man, he complains about the smallest things. So whatever these little things is, he complains about.
Oh, yeah, that's
The air conditioner on too high.
yeah, I got you.
So, okay. 6. A bitter man avoids women of a certain criteria. So in relationship, due to bad dating experiences, he avoids women who fit the criteria of his previous bad experience, assuming she is like the previous woman. Do you think a bitter man would do that?
Nah, I mean, I think any man in any relationship, is gonna learn. Or they're gonna learn from their previous. I'm not gonna say mistakes, but if it didn't work well in the past, they're not gonna do the same shit. So it's just correcting what you did in the past, more or less.
Okay, what if you are a bitter man who's blinded by the booty? So it means that you see fat ass and you know this motherfucker crazy, and you dated somebody that was crazy before, and you still go get the ass.
Shit. I still damn near a lot of it.
Sorry, I guess. I don't know.
I'm bitter.
Yeah, they said a bitter man avoids women of certain criteria. And notice the last part that I said when I said he doesn't want to, he avoids women like he dated in the past, because he assumes she, meaning the new woman, is like the previous woman. So he may miss
and
out.
see, when you
He
saying
may
that, I'm
miss
not-
out on a good woman, assuming that she's like the other one.
And see, when you say that, I'm not thinking he's considering the physical features when you know where that's concerned. I think her behavior wise.
So what makes men approach women before she even speaks, right?
Yeah, it's the physical. That's
The
what I'm saying.
physical.
So he not gonna avoid every motherfucker that might have a fat ass just because she had a fat ass like his last woman.
So now once he goes and he approaches this woman because of the physical,
If he
And then
recognizes some familiarities in that early conversation, then and he, after that there's nothing else, and then it's a possibility.
okay, so let's go deeper. What if he recognized that? Oh, he on the physical, she fits his criteria on the physical.
Okay.
They talk a little bit, but the crazy doesn't show up.
Right.
He smash. Right after he smash, a couple days later, the crazy shows up. Do he jet or do he smash some more and keep going through the cycle?
Well, if he's basing it on his past relationship and he's recognizing that crazy, then he need to go on jet. I think he needs to go on jet.
Okay, so in other areas of his life, he's always skeptical of anyone he meets. So in other areas of his life, he's skeptical all the time. All right. The next one, a bitter man, he interrogates. So in relationships, he pries and questions every move that his woman makes, and as if she's sneaky or a liar, because he has dated such women in the past. He simply believes all women are cunning and liars.
Yeah, he tripping. See, that's why I'm saying he gonna always be by himself.
Yeah, always.
A bitter
I
dude.
mean, if he's
Yeah.
thinking like that, yeah.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
talking
he
like
always,
that.
where you going? Where you been?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
tripping
Where you going?
because no
Yeah.
woman want to be around that, and if you got common sense to know,
Yeah.
don't do it.
Yeah, if he has that mentality, he
Yeah,
will be.
'cause that's almost stalkish.
Stalkerish, yeah. It
You know what I'm
is.
saying?
It is stalkerish.
So in other areas of his life, they have it listed as NA. So on to the next one. A bitter man avoids being friendly. Now in relationship, he's afraid of giving his best in a relationship because of fear of appearing vulnerable to the opposite sex. He avoids giving too much of himself, afraid that the woman in his life will manipulate him like others in his past.
He gonna be forever by himself, man.
He's bitter.
Yeah. Cause I mean, you gotta be friends with the girl that you trying to date.
You got to. Yep.
There is no other. If y'all serious about each other, you know, maybe you're not serious, but I mean, if y'all both serious about each other, you got to be her friend before anything.
Well, notice then it says he is afraid of giving his best in a relationship because of fear of appearing vulnerable. So that means that you're in a relationship, but you just don't want to let your guards down. It's kind of being guarded along the being guarded line. So he doesn't really give his best because he doesn't want to appear too vulnerable.
And that can eventually possibly push her away.
Yeah. Eventually.
That's what it's gonna do.
Okay, in other areas of his life, he's antisocial with most people. So he's not friendly. He don't fool with nobody. He don't be fooling with nobody.
I don't think that make him a bitter man, though.
Yeah.
Well, what they're saying is not. It's not saying that it makes the bitter man. They're saying that these are signs that most bitter men
Right.
have.
Yeah. Because
So
he could
these
just
are-
be socially
I agree with
awkward.
that.
He
I
could
mean,
be
motherfuckers
socially
don't want to be
awkward.
bothered at that time if they are going through at that stage. I can see a motherfucker that not want to be bothered.
Antisocial. Yeah.
So you associate that? Can you associate that with being bitter at times?
If I can say this, I think what he's meaning is at that point in time, that's how he's feeling. You know, I don't think you mean that he's.
Okay, so I'm gonna read it again. A bitter man avoids being friendly. In a relationship, he is afraid of giving his best in the relationship because of fear of appearing vulnerable to the opposite sex. He avoids giving too much of himself, afraid that a woman in his life will manipulate him like others in the past. That's in a relationship. Now, in other areas of his life, he's antisocial with most people.
Yeah, the antisocial part to me,
Yeah.
I just say that because nowadays, the way most things are, you can't just socialize with everybody, you know, due to a lot of social media and all kind of stuff like that. And then now the way that most fake is real, you can't really talk to everybody like that, because you putting yourself in a situation trying to figure out who am I talking to, or if you that type of person, you know what I mean? Some people are very social to where they can just talk to anybody, which it's okay to speak how you doing, but as far as trying to be social, to befriend a person, I think it's important for most adults to not do that all the time. You can't always invite people into your personal space.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you don't know these people.
Yeah, I
you
agree
know
with that.
So I mean, that's antisocial to me. So maybe bitter people had that, but I had that myself.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Slash.
You know, I'm antisocial to a certain extent. You know, if I know you, I'll talk, but just I'm not trying to meet you to if it ain't business. You know what I mean? It ain't we ain't finna be no new friends,
Right?
Yeah.
Type
Yeah,
thing. You know what I mean?
friends.
That's we beyond that. You know.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one. A bitter man is judgmental. In a relationship, he is judgmental of his partner on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's judgmental. Other areas of his life. He views other people's relationships in a negative light, assuming it will not work. He is most likely single and will express his happiness as a single man while never revealing he's often lonely.
That sound
agree
like
with that.
that sound like
But
bitter.
I see more women doing that though. They always say single and hat free. Don't we got one of those followers, single and happy? I think mostly women doing that, but I get what you're saying.
Okay. So, the next one. A bitter man holds grudges in relationships.
I can see that.
If his partner has wronged him, he will never forgive.
I can see that.
Yeah, I agree. Holding that white cloud, a black cloud.
Okay. Other areas of his life. If people have wronged him, he will never forgive.
I mean, that's typical though for anybody, I would think.
Yeah, I think that girl or guy
So-
doesn't.
So you don't believe that people can be forgiving?
They can be.
They can.
Well, let me rephrase that. A bitter man. You don't think a bitter man can ever be forgiving?
Nah, cause he's bitter. That the word bitter itself keeps
Yeah,
him
it
from
is.
anything
Yeah.
positive.
It's all up to him and how long he,
Yeah, till he get rid of that bitterness.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's gonna be nothing positive about him. Nowhere.
Okay. So, the last one here. A bitter man is ungrateful.
Yeah.
In his relationship, he takes his partner for granted. Y'all agree or disagree?
Oh, yeah. I think that was a piece of number 5 or 6. I think.
It still
Because
sounds-
you couldn't satisfy him,
sounds
ungrateful,
controlling.
Yeah, it's down
Still,
controlling.
you know.
Yeah,
Other areas of his life, he is not grateful for what he has in life. He complains of what he don't have. Oftentimes, he complains about money.
I don't know. I can't say that's ungrateful.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I complain about money. There ain't never enough of that.
Yeah.
You know, that's a normal thing. I think.
Are you bitter, Slash?
No. But you know what? I need some more money.
We need some more money. We all need some more money.
Yeah, I ain't bitter, but I need some more money. If I can get some more of that, I'm gonna be all right.
I'm with you, Slash. We can get that bread.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what we got to get, man.
So in closing, man.
So yeah, I'm bitter because I need some more money.
So in closing, right? To our male listeners, take a moment to ask yourself, am I a bitter man? For our female listeners, take a moment to ask yourself, am I in a relationship with a bitter man? This concludes another dope episode. Tune in tomorrow for Think Thursday. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. And for all my YouTubers, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Remember, the only way we grow is if you let them know.